As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody. For whoever wants to listen, I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Scootin' McGavin. What's up, dude?
I think just based off of how this Jersey season is going, I know both of us are potentially going to the shore this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I think we need to do our own show, and it's going to be a lot better than this show.
The Brosy Shore?
Brosy Shore. It's going to be so much better than what we've been watching this season because I'm bored, dude.
This was a boring episode. I didn't think it was a horrible episode. I don't know. They're kind of up and down. It seems as though this show is just simply losing steam. That's all I can kind of
Does
put
it
my
have
finger
steam
on.
to lose?
Yeah, it's got a couple of puffs of steam
A couple
left.
of puffs? Okay.
And I think that what they were
Being
trying...
generous.
I think what the aim of this episode was let's get everybody together without Teresa and see how they do.
Not good.
It wasn't awful.
It wasn't awful. It's just boring.
Yeah, but that's why I think when we discuss this show, and to those that are still enjoying it, we're not trying to yuck your yums here. We're just trying to figure out what the plan of attack is. And I guess when I'm watching that scene, I think what I get from it is, no, it wasn't horrible, but if you keep anybody from this cast for the next season, the same issue that they're having with this show now will continue to occur and occur and occur. You need to just wipe it. It needs to be wiped clean.
It needs to be wiped clean. There's just nothing to get excited about. That's the problem.
That's it.
I think in the past, if we were to remove one toxic person, whether it be Teresa or Marge or Melissa, and we get everybody else together, we can kind of look at it and say, okay, maybe we've got something here, and it's nice to see people getting along, whatever you might say about it. But there's just nothing. And I don't think that adding Teresa back in at the sleepover is really going to make it that much better. But at least there's something there, and there's a different dynamic where you've got Marge and Teresa in the same room. They've only been in the same room like twice this entire season.
Yeah, but I appreciated the fact that they were able to have fun. Like,
Okay.
I like when they have fun. Don't brush it off, because that is something that has been missing from the show. The only other time that we got it was called back to this episode, the bar scene in Ireland, when they went out and partied that one night, and it was a fun time. And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun to watch. So was the scene that exciting? No, but it did show that this group can get together and at least have a nice time, because that's where I get the most frustrated. That's my biggest flaw with this show.
I get that, and I do think that we view that a little differently. If they're having fun, I want to also have fun. Just because they're having fun doesn't mean I'm having fun.
And then, so let me put on my psychology hat a little bit here, okay? And I think that this rings true for a lot of Jersey fans that have watched the show for a long time. I think that you're not having fun when they're having fun because you're not invested, because you're over it, because they're not bringing anything anymore. Like, if this was a different show with a different cast with the same exact scene, I think you'd be like, oh, this is fun.
I think so, yeah. And I do think that we talk about this all the time where, especially in the seasons that it's really heavy and there's a ton of toxicity, there's a ton of arguments, we need scenes like this.
The
And I
reprieve.
think during that Ireland trip, there was a lot going on. And we weren't exactly happy, but we were hopeful that it was going to return to form.
Right.
And that Ireland trip, at least that night in the Ireland trip, obviously they had the Danielle finding out about Melissa's cheating rumors from Jen. That kind of dampened everything. But we looked at that night and we said, look at them. They're having fun. They're all drinking together. Melissa just apologized in some weird way to Teresa because she drew a picture. Remember that?
Yep.
And talking about like coming over from Italy and all of that thing. And it seemed really heartfelt. Then they went out and had a good time. We're like, whoa, maybe we've got something here. I don't feel that at all here.
You're numb.
This is just like, whatever. I don't care because it seems, look, the people that do have issues with each other, it seems like they're being fake. I wanted Dolores to step up. Now I don't want Dolores to step up anymore. I don't care what she has to say. She does nothing for me.
You no longer have any emotional attachment to the show whatsoever.
You know how we used to say for the show that, look, guys, we're not picking teams, so stop yelling from one side or the other at us. We're just trying to be right down the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not even on the board anymore. I don't give a shit about anybody in this show.
That's kind of where
I
I'm
have
at.
no investment in any one person in this show. And I really did think that I had it for Dolores a little bit. And I was thinking, maybe, you know what? I respect her. I still respect her. But as far as watching these people on this show, I just don't care.
I think that's kind of where this show is headed because everyone expects that's what it is. There's no expectation for change. Because anytime you've had a caveat for change, it always goes back to the same nonsense. Even in this episode, we find out about Teresa having her major beef with Marge is because she's involved in this lawsuit. It's like, here we go again. And these two have never talked. They never really liked each other. So once again, we're on this merry-go-round of Jersey, and it's hard to get excited for things when you know what to expect. And that is kind of where I'm at. I'm not angry about it anymore. I'm not upset. I'm simply numb, I think. It's like the end of a toxic relationship where you finally see the light and you're like, oh, I just don't care now.
Yeah, and it's really funny, too, because the way that we're going with this show, at least the direction that we're going with our show, we have other things in here that aren't always Bravo-centric. When I'm watching Jersey, I feel nothing. It's just like, okay, I have to watch Jersey today. As soon as Jersey's over and I start watching The Bachelorette, I'm happy again.
Yeah.
It's very funny how that works out. And usually it's the other way around where, all right, The Bachelorette's kind of corny, whatever. I'm not necessarily invested in something like that, but I'm at least enjoying my time watching it.
Yeah. And
when we're watching Jersey, it's like, I just want to get on with it. And I think another component of this is we know that there's no resolution at the end of the tunnel.
That's a good point.
Because there's no reunion. At least we had a reunion to lean on in the last couple of seasons. Let's see who's the craziest person at the reunion. Who's got the biggest folder full of shit evidence that doesn't point anywhere. It's just nothing. We have to watch these two, and I keep talking about it too. And I said it to you, I think, when I left yesterday. I'm really excited to watch these two groups of people watch this reunion or watch the finale in a restaurant together. That's stupid.
It is. And maybe that I think you just kind of unearthed it. I think that's probably why I've lost excitement as well. Anything that's happening right now doesn't matter.
Yep.
Because we know where it leads to. It's two separate teams sitting in two separate rooms watching the finale. That's not a reunion. Andy Cohen's not even there. It's just there's not a whole lot to latch onto anymore. And it's funny because you look to OC, I'm loving OC this season. And that is that feeling that you're talking about where it comes on TV. And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, what's going on this week? What's the bullshit going to be now? And I'm excited for that stuff. With this show, there's no expectations.
Yep.
Because you know what's going to happen. So it doesn't mean we won't finish this season out. We will do our due diligence every time that we step onto the mic. Don't worry. We're going to break it down scene by scene. We're still going to give you our 110% effort. But
we're not happy.
No, and it's echoed in our comments. You know, a lot of people, we've gotten so many comments, especially on YouTube, that says, thank God for you guys, because I don't even watch anymore. I just listen to your recaps.
Yeah.
We have like over 20 of those on like one video alone. So it's not like we're the only ones here bitching and moaning. And I'm sure that some people get tired of us complaining about it, but we only complain about it because we want these shows to be really good. It's coming from a place of love that got us down this wacky path of starting this podcast because we love this channel.
Especially for something like Jersey that hits so close to home that
literally,
we want it to be really good because when Jersey's really good, it's fun.
Yeah.
And it did get crazy dark and toxic in the last couple of years, but you can think back to nicer times and more fun times where there was petty arguments all over the place. And again, there is a petty argument going on right now between Danielle and Jen, but nobody's here for it.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, both sides, and we always try to point to Twitter with both sides being super toxic and depending on who you're cheering for, whatever. And there are still those people out there. That's not fun at all. There's no good comments back and forth, and it's because people just don't give a shit. There's just nothing to invest into.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, we will continue to do our jobs here. Don't you worry about that. And with that being said, let's jump right into this week. And we're at a brother lunch with Jen Aydin. And the setup here was laughable.
Jesus, dude.
Laughable. Her brother goes, so what's going on with you and Danielle? I was like, get the fuck out of here.
I was wondering, that's the worst part, too, is I knew it was going to happen at some point during this. Because otherwise, why are we watching this? Like, okay, yeah, it's Jersey. Like, if it wasn't Jersey, I would say, oh, this is a nice scene with Jen and her brothers. You know that eventually there's going to be a forced conversation, especially with Jen and her family, the way that she operates. Somebody's going to just drop the ball and ask the question straight on.
I know.
So what's going on with you and this Danielle?
Yeah, let's lead into the conversation first. So you guys are back and forth from Florida? opened a store down there. Oh, wow, that's really interesting. Do you like Florida? Yeah, the people down there are a lot nice. They're not as aggressive up here. Yeah, yeah. So what's going on with you and Danielle? What? That's not pertinent whatsoever.
Just you could see it coming a mile away too.
I'm more interested in his store.
I know. Tell me more.
What kind of store is it?
Yeah.
I want to know more about Naples and your store.
Yep.
Not about this nonsense that she made you ask. But regardless, she runs through the whole thing and reenacts the push, which was probably 5% of how hard she actually pushed her.
Yeah.
And it comes back to Teresa and the fact that she's still feeling scorned by her. Like, hey, I ride or die for her, and she never reciprocates. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it yet?
Yeah.
Are you
figured it out yet?
No, she hasn't. But it's like, dude, no, she doesn't, and she never will, because you do it for her, and she doesn't have to ask. You're now asking her, and watch, it still will not happen. But regardless,
I am at least happy with this, the way that it ended, because they did start talking about the relationship between Jen and Teresa, rather than just continuing the Danielle and Jen thing with her family.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we don't really need to pay attention. The one thing that we're waiting for and looking forward to, so to speak, is to see where the fallout is with Jen and Teresa. So her bringing it up to her family, I thought was a bit of a bigger step.
I agree with that. And I'm glad that she pushes it further to say, I just need to sit down and talk with her. And I was like, look, if you're looking for a way to revamp this show, have those two go at it.
Yeah.
Like, that would be fun to watch for sure. But we move on to Rachel and Danielle are having a play date with the kids and more dad talk, which I'm now at the point with the dad talk where it's like, look, something's going on here.
Dude, I'm done with the dad talk unless she's going to share more.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I need more
Can't do it.
information. You need to tell us what exactly led to everything falling
Also,
apart.
I thought that he was getting surgery. Now it's her stepmom was getting surgery or something.
Yeah, they said that last week.
Did they say that last week? Okay.
Yeah, the stepmom had lid
I was
surgery.
looking for inconsistencies because that's where I am now with this whole Danielle dad thing.
That's fine.
And I just cannot figure it out. Obviously, there's more here that we're not letting on, but I'm going to sound like a broken record. Danielle keeps talking about it.
Yeah.
You're making this a storyline, but we all know that there's got to be more here. And again, it just seems like people don't care enough because there's nothing to sink our teeth into.
Right. If you gave us more info about that or your relationship with your brother, why these things keep falling apart,
Yeah.
then we would understand more. But it's
Especially on
hard.
a show like Jersey, like the way that this has been operating, there's more news about John Fuda out there. We saw John Fuda for 30 seconds during this scene.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry. We saw John Fuda for 30 seconds during before the sleepover scene where he says, hey, I'm out of here.
Right.
That was it. We got news about John Fuda this week that people drummed up or found some article from 25 years ago or whatever. That spills out here. Why is nobody looking into the Danielle family aspect?
Because it doesn't
They don't
seem
care.
to be that big of a
It's
deal.
not a big deal, yeah.
Let's touch on the John Fuda thing real quick. It was shown that he actually held somebody at gunpoint and allegedly like duct taped. I don't even know if it's alleged. I didn't
It
read
was
the article.
the article. I read the article before we started just so I knew and I didn't want to mess it up. The article stated that him along with two other men walked into a guy's apartment. I love the way that this is phrased. It was two men entertaining three females. I love the entertaining three females.
entertaining.
I don't know what the fuck that means. But essentially they walked in, they had guns drawn, they put them on the floor, they, duct taped them and then asked, where the drugs and everything else and the money and whatever it was. So that was written in an article in, I think it was Clifton or whatever, was the township in Jersey. So the picture, I wish we could show the picture to our audience right now because the picture was wild of what he looked like. He had this shitty goatee, like the early 2000s Jersey goatee.
It almost looked like a
spiked
perm.
up curly perm hair. Yeah, it was crazy. And then, of course, everybody's like, well, this is why he changed his name, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, I get it. We
People
understand.
kept saying, you better come for him as hard as you went for Louis and this and that. It's like, look, my big thing is he hiding a past? Okay, yeah, you got him.
Seems like he is.
You got him. My other thing with that always is with Louis, we don't know the ins and outs of everything that's been going on. He just continues to put himself in shitty situations and he acts like an asshole. John Fuda, we've gone after this season as well for being an asshole multiple times. We will continue to do that when he is an asshole. My whole thing with the digging up of past articles and stuff like that, it's the same thing with Teresa. We don't sit here and skewer Teresa for getting arrested. We bring it up when it's funny and like a joking moment. It's like, well, you got arrested too, haha.
Yeah.
But we're not sitting here blaming her for being a convict. my whole thing is everyone's got a past. It's not like you just found some golden nugget that's like, oh my God, nobody in the world knew about this. He clearly got in trouble for this, served his time, and moved on from it.
Yeah.
Teresa,
It's not
did the
pertinent
same-
to the show. It's
it
not
doesn't
like
matter.
Look, if you found an article that said that he dated Margaret, then I'd be like, well, what the fuck is
Yeah,
this?
what's going on here?
The hell is this all about? What are you trying to bury this for? Come on now. That stuff doesn't matter. It
Right.
just doesn't matter. Like he's not going on his soapbox talking about how he's like Louis would go on a soapbox talking about how much he's changed. Fuda's not, and I'm not standing up for Fuda by any means. It just doesn't matter for the show. I just
my
don't
point.
care.
It doesn't matter for the show. And before people go, this is what they do, and you don't. I'll say the same thing with Teresa. Her
Yeah.
going to jail does not have any bearing on her now. And I
She
don't.
did it on the show. Yes, it had huge bearing on the show. Right now, I don't care anymore.
I don't care. And I also don't hold it over her head.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, oh, you went to jail. That's gross. No, you served your time. You've moved on from it and have built an incredible life since then. You are very wealthy. Your kids seem to be doing great. I won't knock her for being a mom. She seems to be a terrific mother. Like, she moved on.
Yep.
As John Fuda did as well. So, no, I'm not going to take an article for 25 years ago and get on my soapbox, be like, this piece of shit. Like, what do you want? What do you want? People have a past.
Yeah.
Shit happens. He served his time, apparently. He's moved on from it, just like Teresa did, and we don't go after her for the fucking conviction.
I think the point of that side, it's so funny. This is like discussing fucking politics. The point of that side is that he comes in hot and calls her the poster child for mortgage fraud.
Calls him a drug dealer.
There you go.
It's back
There
and
we
forth.
go. Yeah.
God damn it.
We're done.
That's
Great.
it. Period. Move on. We get to Teresa and Gia, and we get a little bit more insight to what's been going on with this lawsuit that we've been hearing little bits and pieces about.
Yep.
We also need to do this because so many people were upset with the fact that we said that Gia was a lawyer. She's not. She's studying for the LSATs.
Her father calls her a lawyer. We can call her a lawyer.
We apologize for saying she was a lawyer
God,
when
I'm
she's
so
not.
sorry.
But she's studying,
Future lawyer.
potentially future lawyer, studying for the LSATs. But the line from Teresa saying, you don't put lies out there to hurt someone. You just don't do that. I'm like, dude, come on. Like,
Look,
come
that's
on.
not just a Teresa thing. That's any housewife that has ever been on a Real Housewife show.
especially Jersey.
Just- yeah.
Like, that's
Come on.
everybody's platform on this show is how can I take down the...
I will at least say if what she's claiming that Marge is doing is true and she's just straight up lying as part of a testimony for a lawsuit, that's different.
That
Lying on a TV show about all of this, yes, I agree. That is crazy for you to say on a TV show. But if she's trying to reference Marge lying about this, then that's a different situation because that actually affects people's lives, not this TV show,
Agreed.
which does not affect people's lives.
No.
Because it means nothing anymore because the show stinks.
Right. But I 100% agree. If this is true that Marge is sticking her nose in there because she has a vendetta against Teresa and she's trying to involve herself in a lawsuit to further damage Louis and Teresa's family, that's fucked.
Yeah.
That should never happen. The lines between these shows and real life, and we've talked about this at length, should not be blurred.
Yep.
They are two separate entities. We want to see into your life. We want to see what's going on in your life. You should never have a vendetta against a castmate that leaks into trying to ruin their actual life. We've talked about that with people bringing up cheating rumors, other scandals across the board. That's when it no longer becomes fun.
Yeah.
So
We need to have like a whiteboard in here where we just kind of put a line down the middle. This is safe. This is not safe. The
Do's,
safe side,
don'ts.
you can lie about something that somebody else on the cast said about another person to drum up a little bit of drama.
Sure.
That's okay. I'm all right with that. You can spill the beans on a secret that was shared from one castmate to another castmate. Fine. That's good by me. Cheating rumors, nope.
Nope.
Let's not do that. Anything about the kids? Nope, never. Anything to do with lawsuits? Nope, never. See ya. We're
Yeah,
done.
I think that's good.
Pretty straightforward.
I will say this. If I FaceTimed my attorney and he was wearing a fitted hat, I would fire him. And I'm sorry. But when what?
Did you see what hat it was?
It was a Phillies hat.
Yeah.
No, I know it was. And I'm still taking
You're
this-
still not okay with that?
No, No,
Dude,
I just
I gave him a pass.
couldn't.
I was okay with it. You know that I'm a big stickler for those things. Them and the TV show therapists too. They're out too.
Oh, I understand that. And look,
I gave him a pass.
I also understand that they have a lot of money, so he's probably a very qualified attorney.
Esquire, yeah.
Esquire. Yeah, he's probably knows what he's doing.
Do you know what that means? I have no idea what that means.
No, I don't. But a close
We're gonna
friend
get yelled at,
of
though.
mine and a friend of yours as well, who is an attorney. I won't say his name.
Yep.
But he used to think that before he went to law school, and he's a phenomenal attorney and one of the smarter people I know, he thought that the Esquire went at the beginning of the name. So it would be Esquire Steele Russell,
Oh,
not Steele Russell Esquire.
interesting.
He's a lawyer now. He's a very
Okay.
good lawyer.
Hopefully you figured that one out.
He did. But I got him a present one year, and I got him a name plaque.
It said
an
Esquire?
It's an Esquire blank blank.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking funny.
That's
but
funny.
Again, I want to reiterate, super smart guy and very good attorney.
Where the hell are we? Oh, I don't remember. Sorry. I forgot where we were on the show.
Fitted Hat.
Fitted Hat.
We're at the
Yep.
Fitted Hat.
Yep.
Like I said, he's probably very qualified for them to hire him because they have tons of money. If I went on a FaceTime and my attorney was sitting there with it, and it's slightly crooked to the side too. He had like the stylish.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Like, bro, no, you're not my attorney. I need you in a suit, glasses. I need you to look like a nerd. That's either look like a nerd or look like Harvey from Suits.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my
That's
pairing.
fair.
Yeah. So
I like that that's what your issue is and not the fact that he's willing to sit down with the women and discuss the ongoings of the case.
yeah, so maybe he's not as credible as I want to give him
Yeah,
credit.
no, he's definitely not.
I'm trying to be
He's not,
respectful.
but before everybody gets all up in arms over here, Teresa did say he is not involved in the case. He's just closely following it. Okay, sick.
I missed that part. I must
You
be
missed
writing
that
down.
part?
Yeah. Wait, what is he
He's
doing?
not the attorney in the case.
Oh, so she just went to a
Also,
friend she
like,
knows.
Teresa's there, and obviously she's probably like helping out, maybe financially or whatever. I don't want to speculate there because again, it has to do with lawsuits. But this guy is not the lawyer,
Okay.
so I don't know. Like, what is he doing? He just goes and like just checks in. Like
Maybe
he's just
he
gonna say whatever
reads the
Teresa
case
wants him to say.
files.
So like, it's just
It's another
again, it's
plant.
just stupid.
It's another plant, but Gia tries to put into motion a little plan of you need to tell Fessler all of this.
Nice, by the way, motion.
Oh,
Yeah, that was good.
little litigation joke.
Yeah,
no,
you
no
know.
big deal.
Very highbrow here, Rob Bruce.
We are very highbrow here. Just stay tuned for a dick joke in 10.
Yep.
But regardless, she says you got to tell Fessler. Once Fessler, they're trying to ruin Fessler and Marge's friendship now, which, whatever. So
I don't know if that was necessarily ruin. I mean, I think they know what the byproduct is there, but I think it's more here are people that are credible, that understand logic, that will hear that information and say, oh shit, which we actually pointed out before with Fessler specifically. When she hears something, she just immediately assumes it's the truth.
Yeah, I know.
And then she gets all up in arms about it and pissed off.
Yeah.
I would say maybe Dolores could be a little more credible, but Dolores tends to wash her hands a lot.
Oh, she
Especially
literally
when she
did that
hears
this
information.
episode.
Yeah.
She goes, I don't even want to know.
She doesn't want to know. She actually said that. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how she reacts to it. I thought we were going to get all of that this episode. Like, why plan it there just to bring it back? I thought it was going to be the end of the episode.
Because they're trying to find shit to
I
put
know
on
that's
TV
that's
for,
what I was thinking too. So we'll have to see how this works out. But I think that's what Gia meant, is that Fessler understands logic and hears it and will take a stance and then maybe tell everybody else how to actually feel about it.
Okay.
But I think, unfortunately, we already kind of called out Fessler for doing that, and it's not a really good look because people lie on this show. Who knew?
She had a redemption moment in this episode that we're going to get to at some point. But let's keep trucking. And to further prove my point that they're just trying to find things to fill the time here, we get Marge and Joe and Melissa and Joe, and they're hanging out at Marge's house. We do get a quick update about Joe's diagnosis or potential diagnosis with prostate cancer. He's going in for his MRI. It could just be something going on but that would cause inflammation, and he has no inflammation, which points to it potentially being prostate cancer. So that is very worrisome. And of course, we hope and pray that all of those test results come back negative and he's good to go. Other than that, it's a scene about Joe Gorga cutting down a fucking tree.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Did he need to actually go up that high on the tree? Because he ended up cutting pretty low.
Yeah, because if you don't, you'd be surprised how this is little.
Okay, no, I just needed to know if it was legit.
Yeah, if you cut it from the bottom, it's harder to control the fall, and if you also, it will potentially fall on something more important.
All right, so that's not what I meant. He ended up cutting way lower than he actually went up, is what I'm
Oh.
saying. He went high up there. I think he was just showing off.
Potentially.
Okay.
He could have been
Could have just been
showing.
having a good time. You know what? Why am I
I'm not
doing
going to
this?
dog him for climbing.
Yeah,
a
you know
tree.
what? If I had those shoes, I'd
You would-
probably be climbing up
I would
there,
go as
too.
high as I could before
Yeah.
it became unsafe, and then I would
Yeah.
push it a little further, and you know me, I'd probably fall.
Yeah.
and hurt my hip. But yeah, we're not going to dog
Okay,
anybody.
yeah,
for
no,
climbing
you know what?
trees
Yeah,
here.
I'm too much of a cynic with this show.
Yeah,
now.
come on now, that would be fun.
Having a good time.
Yeah, and he's up there, he's playing with the poison ivy, and then he cuts it down. It was fun, I
Yeah.
guess. But why are we watching that?
No idea.
And then he runs inside with He had ketchup that whole time.
Yep.
Boo. Just a little dad humor.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But regardless, let's keep on moving. We get to Fessler and Dolo, and Fessler spent the weekend with the Gorgas, which I thought was interesting, which I thought maybe we would get more of. That would be something that I would want to dive into because that could affect other relationships. But we just get pictures of that night, which weird move. Why did we not get more from that? Whatever. But she remembers that night in Ireland, and her and Dolores are just kind of going back and forth. That was the most fun ever. And I don't think we're ever going to have that much fun again.
You think?
Jersey.
Yep.
That's it. Like that summed up everything.
New headline.
Right there. Yeah, and they're going over the Namaste disaster that happened, and Dolores points out something different. She says, "Look, Teresa's a mess right now. She came to me. She's anxious. She's anxious, and she says if I pass out, just like get me up or something along those lines." She's
Call
blaming
911.
Call 911.
Yeah.
She's blaming it on the court case. I don't know what's going on. I'm hard pressed
Well, look,
to
I
speculate.
think it could be a combination of, I mean,
I'm
Dolores
sure
goes
that's
on to
stressful.
say that she feels like she's really stressed out from the court case. I mean, her kids she's almost at the point where she's an empty nester. Her kids
Yeah.
are going to college, so there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on with the show. And now, of course, and you and I know this, we can speak on this. You get up on stage, it's a little nerve-wracking.
It is.
It was her first show, so maybe she was a little nervous about being up there, doing the whole thing. Will people like it? Will they not? So it could have been one of those conversations in passing, but it seems like Dolores took it pretty seriously. That makes sense to me because I did think that last week was completely out of character for Dolores to step up like that and yell at Jen and say, "You don't talk to her like
I
that."
thought so too.
She was being protective because she knew that Teresa was in a bad spot.
Yeah, and look, we like that.
I'm okay with that, and I believe it. Yeah.
And I wasn't even dogging Teresa there. It's more
No.
so like what is going on. We don't wish poor health on any of
No,
these people.
no.
So hopefully everything's okay, and maybe it's pre-show jitters. Kids are leaving the nest.
Stressful lawsuit.
Stressful lawsuit,
Louis' ex being involved. There's just a lot
or
going
just
on.
Louis. But
She's just
you
got a
know,
lot of shit going on.
she got a lot going on,
Yeah.
and that's never fun. We've all been there. And it's funny that Dolores even doubles down and goes, "Jen wasn't wrong." She goes, "She was right. It's just," and that even speaks more to her being just a good friend. No, you're not wrong, but shut the fuck up right
Yeah.
now. She doesn't need to hear this. So
Yeah.
they start discussing Fuda and Fessler, that whole debacle. And Fessler says, "Look, I texted her after that fashion show. I got no response from her. And so she asked me about the pajama party. And I said, no, I thank you very much, but not going to be there." The first response from Fuda was, "Is this because I didn't respond?" It's so that all of that does is say to Fessler, not responding was a choice that I made.
Yes.
If she had said, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I didn't respond,"
Yep.
she would still know what you were doing, but at least you played it off. Instead, you just confirmed, "Yeah, I didn't respond to you because I was mad at you or I was
Yeah.
trying to prove a point." So, the bad move,
Very bad move.
dumb move,
Dumb move in both ways.
agreed.
Don't call attention to the fact that you didn't respond. Just say, "Okay,
Yeah,
sounds good."
yeah, I guess.
I
But
think that she's just doing it, and this just speaks to me about what kind of person Rachel is. She wanted to get one over on Fessler by not responding. You know, she took all this time to send this really heartfelt apology to me, saying that it was a misunderstanding. I'm not going to respond to her, but I'm still going to, invite her to the slumber
he's
party.
a bigger person.
But then you immediately panic and say, "Is this because I didn't respond?" Like, you need the confirmation.
Right,
That's why
okay.
she's doing it.
Okay.
And Fessler could have been like, "No, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going out of town that weekend." And then Rachel would have spiraled probably a little bit more. So she still needs the gratification of, "Are you doing this because of what I did?"
Is this my fault?
Yeah, it is.
But you shouldn't have to ask. You
No.
know that.
Yeah.
You should be well aware.
You
And
need to
that's-
be in like a good enough position to do something like that and then not like regret the repercussions that come through.
Right. And she points to it later when they have their one-on-one conversation. I just got immediately like 10 out of 10 annoyed the
Mhm.
minute I heard John's name and Teresa's name come out in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But when you get a text
Crazy.
message that says all of these things explaining the situation, because at the end of the day, she was trying to defend you. So if you got irritated in the moment, overreacted a little bit, caused a little bit of a scene, and you want to reel it in now after reading that text, breaking it down pretty succinctly, that's okay. You can just text and be like, hey, all good. We're fine. Come to my pajama party. Let's squash this non-issue that we're having
Yeah.
and let's move forward. But instead, you tried to play it cool, not respond. You got embarrassed and then panicked. Bad move.
It's also just fucking insane that you're going to be that upset that John and Teresa's name
Came
were
out in the same sentence? Like, what do you...
It could be John and, I don't know, a lot of other people in the same sentence. And I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, that's a little too far. Real evil people, not Teresa.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make...
For the sake of the argument, I'll just say Satan.
Okay.
But you guys you do a little match in there and
Yeah,
fill
you
in the
can put
blanks.
things together.
Yeah, there's a lot more worse people in there that you might actually get upset
Is that
about.
why you think because she doesn't want him mentioned with her name because she's so bad? Or
Yeah,
because...
it's the only thing I
just
can think of.
Oh, I thought that it was, I'm so tired of hearing those two mentioned together because
The
people
way
won't
that
stop
she
talking
said it, I would, if she was a logical person, if she was a person that I tended to agree with, I would agree with what you just said.
You
But
think
because
it's
it's
just...
her, it's like, don't you dare put them in the same sentence. They are polar opposites.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
can
how
see
I
that
feel
too.
like she would. Yeah,
All right. Yeah, no, I'm
which is, by the way, stupid,
yeah, it's dumb.
fucking insane.
It's a dumb argument, but they're talking about girls' weekend, and look, we're going to heal some wounds. We're gonna
Sure.
namaste. All of us are gonna namaste.
It's not going to be a vacation. It's going to be a retreat.
Yeah, it's a
We're going to figure
retreat.
this out.
We're gonna namaste together. That's what we're gonna do. And in light of that, well, that was bad. That was funny.
No, I'm just thinking like it's just
Oh, it's gonna be a
the whole
nightmare.
premise of everything. It just pisses me off.
Yeah,
It's just so stupid.
but in light of that, in light of let's go on this retreat and become friends again with everybody, Fessler takes out her phone and she texts Fuda and says, "Hey, all good. I've thought about it. I would love to come to your pajama party. I'll see you there." Great.
Pajama Jammy Jam.
The Pajama Jam.
Pajama Jam.
Pajama Jam. Is that from a show?
Pajama Jammy Jam is definitely from something. I don't know what
Pajama
it's from.
Jammy Jam. P-Jam. Oh, that sounds worse.
I didn't like that at all. Please don't ever say that again.
You want to come over from a P-Jam? Ooh, that's how you make pajama parties not fun.
Gross.
Let's move on from that one. I'm going to bring that up again. And see, I told you, wait 10 minutes for a dick joke. Right on time.
That is a dick joke. I didn't even realize that. That's even worse.
I want to do the calculation. That might be 10 minutes on the nose.
Yeah, it could be.
Full circle.
Wow.
We might not be highbrow, but we do like to go full circle here. So anyway, we get to Teresa and Jen, and they're having their one-on-one conversation, and Teresa apologizes for the Namaste incident, and I think it's interesting the entire time that Jen is talking, Teresa's trying to get a word in, and should not be. Like, that is... in this, let's take emotions out of it or how we feel about the characters out of it. If I'm Jen in this scenario and my friend, let's just say I'm me and I see you go to bat for somebody I fucking hate that you know I have issues with in front of me.
Yeah.
And then I go to talk to you about it and you're trying to talk to me. I'm like, dude, you just don't give a fuck, do you? Like, I'm done. So she should have just sat there and listened. And Jen is going through, you didn't say anything. And she's like, well, I didn't want to ruin the night. And she said, I feel so alone. I ride for you. You don't ride for me. And maybe that's my fault. And I wish that I could stamp that on a plaque and be like, here, this is your sign. Do you get it yet? She doesn't really care about you.
Yeah.
Like, you are a friend of hers, and you might even be a close friend of hers, but she is still looking for ways to manipulate and use you to her benefit.
Yeah, and I think that this is fair too because Jen does need to go through this process.
This is
It's
like
not something that's just going to click immediately because there's obviously some doubt in her mind. She's thinking about the good times with Teresa and all the times that they were
Rose-colored
friends,
glasses.
rose-colored glasses that she needs to slowly strip away. And I feel like this is a huge step. We talked about it earlier with sitting down with her brothers, the fact that obviously it was a forced conversation, but the fact that she's sitting there with just her family talking about Teresa is wild.
Yeah.
If you told me that this was going to happen last year, the year before, I would have never thought about it.
I'm glad that she's venting some things.
Yeah, she's venting some things, and she's doing it in the appropriate way. I felt like everything, and typically when Jen speaks, she ends up kicking herself in the ass at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't really do that this time. That like talking to Teresa, not allowing her to talk.
I disagree.
Everything she said was what? You think she
You
kicked herself in
finish.
the ass?
I don't think she kicked herself in the ass like
Yeah.
she normally does by saying too much, and then it's like, oh, there we go, you lost it.
That's what I would usually expect.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
She lost me with it when Teresa doesn't really truly respond. She doesn't really give her. She said more so like, I understand where you're coming from, or like, if I had to choose, I would pick you over Danielle. Like, that's not obviously.
Yeah, but I think it's just steps at this point. Right now, the step that she's at is bringing the concern to Teresa. And yeah, Teresa can say this. Like, she's not going to not be friends with Teresa right in this moment. She's not going to cut her off completely right in this moment.
That's, again, not my problem.
Oh, okay.
My problem is the minute that occurs,
Mm-hmm.
let's move on to the next thing. What's going on with this lawsuit? I'm like, dude, press
Well,
her.
I think it's baby steps here.
I will give Jen Aydin credit
Yeah.
for taking the baby steps. Fine. But I just thought that it was, because in my mind, Teresa now is like, oh, we're good. Like, now this is
Sure.
squashed.
That's okay, though. It doesn't really matter what Teresa thinks because Jen's thinking it now.
I hope so.
Jen's in a position now where she's at least noticed it, and it's been a big enough deal to bring to Teresa's attention on a one-on-one lunch and not allow her to talk her side of it.
I guess my concern lies in Teresa is going to wash her hands of it now. Oh, we're good. We're cool. And
That's fine.
I think that it's going to go further. I think that Jen, because she always wants to appease Teresa, might also be like, all right, I talked about it, and now let's move on from this.
I'm hoping that it's different. I'm
I am
hoping
too.
that it's now okay, now my guard's up a little bit, and if it happens again, we already had this conversation, and you told me, yeah, of course I would pick Danielle over you. If it comes to blows once again, which it might at the end of the season, it'll be interesting to see where Teresa lies if she just does the Switzerland thing, because Jen might be done with her at that point.
The only way, I just figured it out.
Although apparently they're sitting in the same room
I
together.
was
over
about
else,
to
so,
say
yeah.
the only way that last episode could be any good, that faux reunion we're getting, is if Jen is in the other team's room and just crucifying
Or
Teresa.
she's in
the
a
whole
third
time.
room with her brothers.
Yeah, and they're asking questions. What did Danielle say? I was going to say, what did Daniel say? It's Danielle.
That would be funny,
I fucked up
though.
my own
Yeah.
joke. Damn it. Damn.
Well, you're assuming that the brothers might not fuck it up. They don't even know what the hell's going on.
They
What did
don't.
Daniel say? It's Danielle.
It's Danielle. Do
Oh,
it
sorry,
again.
Danielle.
Do it again. Cut. We're live. Anyway, they start talking about the court case a little bit. And, you know, I'm not saying that a restraining order is not a big deal. Were you expecting this to be something larger?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not what I thought it was at all. I thought it was going to be a huge thing. It's just
I did
not.
too.
But like, I'm not surprised anymore. It's just,
Like, I thought it was going to be some massive, like, business lawsuit,
Yeah.
something going on in his professional life. And it's like, I get it. Yeah, obviously you don't want a restraining order. It's bad. It's a terrible look.
mhm.
And it hurts your reputation. Sure. But at the same time, I was expecting some
But she was
horrible
coming
scenario.
after like
his money.
his business. I thought he was going to have to pay her a huge sum, and it's really going to set him back. Like I thought there was going to be so much more to this.
It's been a 3-year fight for a restraining order.
And look, maybe it has other implications involved that we're not privy to, where it does affect his business and it does affect his family.
I guess.
Maybe it affects like visitation or the way that because his kids are all a
don't-
little older. So I don't really know. It could be. I'm assuming that there has to be more for it to go on for 3 years.
Okay, and I don't want to speculate on legal things. We just talked
I
about
did
that.
think it was going to be a lot more massive though.
I thought it was going to be larger. I also don't want to minimalize it because it
Right.
could be a bigger deal than we know. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do that at all. Even if I don't like Louis, I
Yeah.
don't want to minimize it. I just thought that it was going to be this big bomb being dropped and be like, holy shit, because we saw Sheena Shea do a better job of handling a restraining order than this.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot. Just saying.
Just saying.
Just going to put that one out there.
Just
And
throw
then
it out there.
we're going to move on to the P-Jam party.
Jam.
Yeah.
Jammy Jams.
The Jammy Jams. It's a jam jam. And the kids are babysat upstairs. And the minute that I heard that, I was like, oh, God, please let this night be okay.
Yeah.
Don't fight in front of the children. Like, that was the only thing in my mind is get the kids out of the house.
Well, it's
This
not
is
even a
gonna go well.
sleepover. It's a
It's a stay over.
stay over.
Party. Yeah, it's a stay over party because they're not staying in my castle.
Stay over for an extended period of time, but not overnight party.
Yeah, but don't stay overnight in my. You're not staying in
Not
my
my
castle.
castle.
Get the fuck out of here. It's a This is a raised ranch.
This is a raised. I was going to say the same thing. This is a raised ranch, aka a castle.
Yeah,
That's how castles work.
Mm-hmm. Get the fuck out.
You ever play Clash of Clans? That's how it works. You start off low and then you build it up.
Yeah. Oh God, I love that game. I spent too much time on that game.
Yeah.
But the beginning of the party, there's a lot of tension. You can feel the tension. It's palpable. There's one very noticeable person missing. Teresa is not there. Teresa was the only one not invited to the party, which I don't agree. We never agree with that, ever. If you're going to do this, you gotta bring the whole cast. Now, I do believe that this was a Bravo moment. They're saying, "Hey, we're gonna get all of you together without Teresa and see how this goes."
Yep.
This is potentially the future of the show. Let's see what we have here. But I still don't like it. You got to get her into the mix, even if she leans into a fake Namaste moment where it's like, "Oh, we're all gonna kiki and have fun." Fine. I think I would have enjoyed this scene more if I saw Teresa getting along with everybody there.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. If it's the entire cast, sure, but it does nothing for me without her.
Yeah, it was interesting. But Fuda and Fessler go off on the side to have their one-on-one fight, and it's like, or one-on-one talk, and Fessler visibly is just over it. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
I just want to reiterate for the final time, I was defending you. That's all. If I hear people talk shit in the future, I won't say a goddamn word. Fuda's got to get her side of it in. She goes, I was just so upset the minute I heard that. I was so annoyed. 10 out of 10, blah, blah, blah. It's like, read the room. She's there. She made an effort to respond to you after you left her on red. She went back on what she said and said, okay, I am going to come to your party. You don't have to go in there a little heated. And she was. Fuda was like, I'm going to get the last word in. And I was like, dude, she's there. She's wearing pink pajamas that you purchased for her and the slippers. She's in. You don't need to hammer this one home, but she still does. Thank God it didn't turn into more, because this, like many other arguments and many other storylines that we're seeing this season, doesn't fucking matter.
It just doesn't matter at all. And look, I mean, Fuda could have won some points back if she went into this. I would argue that a huge component of housewife shows is being able to have the one-on-one sit-downs that we see almost every episode, depending on who's feuding with who, and being able to actually get your piece out, understand the other person, quote-unquote, understand whatever, throw out a little apology, and move on. And she has not been able to do that.
Move on in a
too
timely
emotional
manner.
with it. And again, we don't even know what you're pissed off about. She's saying that she was defending you. That should be enough right there. Okay, I misunderstood. I'm really sorry. I'm just a little heated. I'm really pissed off at Teresa. The fact that she's going after John and the two of them being in the same sentence together, I misheard. I thought that it was something else. That's on me. I apologize. Thank you for coming. Boom, done. Good.
Yeah,
that would have given her so many points, because then it's like, okay, you're really pissed off at Teresa. We get that. You don't want them in the same sentence. Fine, whatever. Then you can move on once you are presented with more information. You don't have to, like, hold on to it. You're not a mainstay. This is your second season. Just fucking take the punch and move on.
I think that she's been built up a little bit. I don't know.
I think so too. Yeah.
I do think
you can just point to the castle comment and that's enough.
Yeah, and I think that also before the season started, I do think that the producers had a meeting and were like, "Hey, you need to step up." Maybe they said that to her and Danielle. I don't know, but they're like, "Hey, the show's on the line.
Yeah,
bring your A game." And that was her A game. And like you said, all she needed to do there was go, I saw red. Let's move on.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
You can still show your emotion to the audience and also say that you can accept an apology.
But what I heard from Fessler, I needed to get back on her good graces.
Yeah.
Her to get back on
Not fully there yet, but this helped.
This helped immensely because she said the toxicity of this group is contagious, and Fuda and I caught it. I think that's giving credit to Fuda, but I do believe that's what happened with Fessler, because the Fessler we saw last year did not get this wrapped up in the bullshit.
Correct.
So for her to call that out too, to like label the whole cast, I'm like, you are 100% correct. That is the problem with this show, is the overall toxicity. It's toxic on the show. It's toxic on Twitter, the fan base, all across the board. They've set the tone that we're going to be fucking evil to each other. We're going for the jugular night in and night out. And if you're not going to follow suit, we're going to go after you. So I'm glad that she called that out. That was massive points for me, because I was a little upset about her performance this year.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me. I was like, what happened to Fessler last year?
She was the only good thing that happened last year.
That's what I thought.
And we had so many hopefuls last year with Fuda and Danielle coming in. Fessler was the only one who was consistent, and she was funny, and she broke up some of the tension. And then this year, she just fell for everything. So
This was a good step
this
forward.
is a good step, at least.
Yeah, it's a good step. We're talking a lot about steps.
Still
That was a
need her to
good
just
step.
crack jokes, though. That's what we need.
I miss a crack
Keep
joker.
it light.
A crack joker.
Crack joker?
A joke cracker. That doesn't sound it. I miss a jokester. Crack joker, joke cracker.
Jesus.
Fuck.
Let's just slide along here with
Yep.
Jammy Jams.
Let's get to our lipstick reading party. Should we do this?
Lipstick reading at the P-Jam party. Who saw this coming?
I need you to rank as far as these spiritual moments that we have on this show.
Oh, man.
Okay. Here they are. We got sound baths. We've got Eagle Woman, lipstick reading, and I think we saw a coffee ground reading or a tea ground reading.
Yeah, but the coffee ground reading last year was rigged, and we all know it.
Oh, yeah. I'm
That's
so glad they brought
immediately-
the endorsements back.
That is immediately in the basement.
No. Not in how
Oh, just-
watching it. I'm saying as
Oh.
far as effectiveness in real life. Oh, let me do it again. Hold on.
Okay, all right. Do it again.
Astrology chart,
Yeah.
coffee ground reading,
Uh-huh.
sound bath,
Okay.
lipstick reading,
Yep.
Eagle Woman. Rank them in what would what would probably work and what's definitely not going to work.
Okay, so none of them are real. Let's just start off there. I'm going to rank them in enjoyability.
Okay.
At the very bottom, I am putting sound baths. Sound baths are fucking stupid. They make no sense to me. They are really dumb.
They're not.
They're really dumb. This is my list,
Okay. All right.
pal.
If you fucking settle down,
Yeah.
I'll come over there and
Yeah.
rip that mustache
In
off.
the number 4 slot, I've got lipstick reading. I don't think it makes any sense. You can alter your lips, as they already said.
She said it's not a problem.
Okay, sure, whatever. So is it going to be a different reading if they didn't alter their lips beforehand?
Irrelevant.
Yeah, okay. Number 4. Number 3, I'm going to put... What do I have left? I have astrology, I have coffee grounds, and what's the third
Eagle
one?
Woman.
Ooh, damn. This is going to be a tough top 3.
Because
I'm
there's
putting astrology charts. I still don't believe that the stars and the moon and whatever the fuck else is going on really actually matters. We might not even be real, so who cares?
it's all a simulation.
It's all a simulation. It doesn't really matter.
Still have to reach out to Allie for your astrology chart.
I know. And actually, you know what? I'm going to swap it. I'm going to put that at number 4. That's going to
Oh,
number 4
wow.
because, again, it's still really stupid to me. But also, the people that love it piss me off. So that's going to number 4. Sound baths piss me off more than those people, though.
Finish your list, and I have a question.
Okay. Number 3, I've got the lipsticks. Number 2, I'm going to put Eagle Woman.
Wow,
Really, really like Eagle Woman.
With the endorsements.
The endorsements,
Yeah, that trumps
it's
everything.
hard. And also, I love coffee. So,
Okay.
number 1.
All right. My counter to you is: you really think that we're floating through this infinite nothingness,
Mhm.
and these massive celestial objects have zero effect on anything?
Yeah, they could kill us if they crash into us.
That's
Otherwise, no.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not a believer, but I'm
You're a
not
science
I'm
guy.
not a staunch. I love science. I'm just saying, there's a lot of shit we can't explain out there.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot that they just said that UFOs are real.
Look, I mean, you might be able to point to the fact that if a star is in a certain position, I might have a slight headache because of the gravity. Just pull it on my head or
hold
something.
On. You
That's-
just admitted
But
that.
that's science.
Okay,
That's
but
not what it doesn't have any effect on who I am as a person.
if you have a headache,
Give me
you're
a little bit of a
grumpy.
headache. I can get through it. You get enough headaches, you just kind of like take it. Just keep moving.
Thanks for your headache breakdown.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think you contradicted yourself. I think I won
No,
that
not
one.
at all.
I think I won that one. It's okay. You're not going to them all. The fruit by the foot challenge looked fun. That's something I wanted. I think I could win.
Jen
that.
cheated.
Did she?
Yeah, dude, she ate a little bit of it before she
Got
started.
dissolved in her mouth.
Sure it did.
Oh wow.
Sure it did.
Nitpicking. The guys move on when they want to make whoopee. I thought was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Actually.
I like
just
Jeff's the best though.
Jeff.
Hey there.
Hey there.
That got me going.
Especially seeing Jeff.
Yeah. But like, I think that's also the most truthful. I think everybody else, typically when women are talking about sex on these shows, a lot of times it's like, all right, you're probably lying about that. Like that didn't happen.
My favorite is everyone always has the most active sex life ever.
Oh,
When
yeah.
he walks in the room, I'm like, no, give a real answer.
He's got his shirt off and he's walking towards me. Okay.
Like, no, say something fun.
Yeah.
Say something funny.
That's why I like the hey there. That
Yeah.
seems realistic. I can see both Jen and Jeff doing that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like fun.
And like the Melissa one, like, you look pretty. Like, I can
see that one. Yeah.
My whole thing is like, even if you have a remarkable sex drive, however long into your marriage, good for you. But have something fun prepared here. Don't be like, my sex life is better than your sex life. Say something silly.
We're having sex all the time.
Yeah, give me like a Joey from Friends. Like, how you doing?
Yeah.
Like, something like that would be funny.
Especially for this show.
Oh yeah,
It makes sense.
But yeah, hey there. The hey there was funny.
Hey there's the best.
Hey
Yeah,
there's really funny. And I pictured Jeff in like an ascot for some reason.
Yeah,
like,
me
sitting,
too. I had
like,
a
reading
monocle.
book.
Yeah.
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 He's like, hey there.
Yeah.
And they're watching 60 Minutes.
Yep. That's probably accurate.
Scene.
Scene.
Yeah, 100%. But Dolo and Paul, the business is going good. They have computers.
They have computers.
Do have computers. She has a desk. So things are shaping up over at
I'm just happy that nobody took the chance to just take a low shot at them. Like, oh, what's going on? Is he gonna propose? Are you worried
We're not
about all
talking
this? Like,
about
we're not
that.
talking about that. You actually genuinely asked how the business is going. A couple of them didn't know that was going on. They were interested. They had good things to say.
Yep.
Makes me happy.
What did you think about Jen milking Bill's prostate?
I don't think she knows what the fuck that means.
When she made the hand motion later, I was like,
It's-
oh, you
no,
don't know what
she's
that
just
means.
jerking him off.
Yeah, okay. Jesus Christ.
She's just cranking it.
I had this, and I hate that my brain did this. I just had this image of them, like, at his doctor's office, like, getting a
Oh,
prostate
God.
exam by Jen. Like, how do I do it? He's like, yep, just right. Oh, yep.
That's it.
Yep, right in my pool house. But Dolores brings up the retreat. Look, we're broken as a group. I want to get everybody together. I want to figure a way through this. I don't know if this is her last-ditch effort to save the show. I don't know if this is actually to save friendships. Maybe she's just sick and tired of the bullshit. That's what I'm getting from her, especially earlier when she says, I tell Teresa, like, give me updates about the court case as far as, like, how you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to know the ins and outs. And it's even crazier because she points to, like, I don't want to be dragged into it.
Right.
I think that she is just so done with the shit. But it also could be hey, I recognize where this show is going. We need to be able to come together or we're all out of here.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way that everybody's going to get together if it doesn't start with the two people who are in the middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, I mean, that's also probably Bravo's doing because there's no chance that they could have gone to Fuda, Marge, Teresa, Jen, and said, hey, we want you to plan the trip this year.
Yeah.
Last year, we had a trip planned by Dolores. This year, we have a retreat planned by Dolores once again. They can't keep doing this because the two sides refuse to do things together. And you have to start from the middle and work your way back out. I don't know. They had to do something, obviously. Every housewife show has to do a trip every season.
Not Salt Lake.
Not Salt Lake.
They go to Arizona.
Well, that was when Jem was on the show.
That's what I'm
They went
talking
to
about.
Mexico this year, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm talking about they went to Bermuda. Where
Something like
was
that. I think it was Aruba?
where
Aruba.
was Monica from? I thought it was Bermuda. I'm like 90% sure.
Okay.
I'll double check.
It was one of those islands. For some reason, I was thinking the Bahamas, though, too.
I'll fact check that
Okay.
one. But
Yeah,
they
that's
did
fine.
go on that trip because they're supposed to meet her family. That whole thing.
Right.
But the year prior, they went
This
to
is
Arizona.
By the way, Dolores said this is somewhere they can drive.
Oh, Philly?
So, yeah, maybe they're going to Philly.
We're going to a Phillies game, and we're going to hash this shit
This
out.
is going to be a retreat. We're going to find out what they think about us.
We're going to go ride the bull at PBR down at Xfinity Live. But they're going to the Berkshires.
Oh, they're going to the
Yeah,
Berkshires.
they're going to the Berkshires. If they end up at Bluestone Manor, they can have another season. And
Okay.
Dorinda's there.
And Dorinda's there, and she has to continue to be on the show.
Yes.
Then I'm okay with it.
What if that's the big reveal?
God,
Dorinda's on Jersey now,
I'd love that.
and they end up at Bluestone
I'd give
Manor.
them another chance.
I'd give them a shot.
Yeah.
Just to see. That would be a
Yep.
disaster in a lot of good ways, I think.
Well, we'll have to see how the end of the sleepover goes because Danielle shows up at the very end with her cake.
Mm-hmm. No, she was there
And-
for a little while. She did the fruit roll-up thing.
Yeah.
Roll-up. It seems like look, all of them were like, yeah, we're in. We're in. Even Jen was like, I'm in. Let's do this. I don't think that we're going to get a fight at the sleepover.
Maybe not.
But let's get to some questions.
From Sarah Pilardi. Will you film this pod in matching PJs, please? We actually did
Oh,
a
man.
live show in PJs.
Yeah, it wasn't matching
But
PJs.
we
though.
didn't match.
We're not above it. We just, shooter comes straight from work.
Yeah, can't do it.
But yeah, I would imagine at some point you will see us in matching pajamas. That's not a far cry.
From Sharnik 1, an episode with no Teresa. Everybody got along. Foreshadowing.
It's not foreshadowing. It was an attempt to show what the show could be without her. And I don't think that that's a saving grace, no.
Yeah, I think that's fair. From Katrina, why are we only learning of Louis' lawsuit now? Where was this storyline all season? That's a good question.
They hinted at it. Maybe it was because of where they were in the lawsuit. They couldn't talk about it. I don't really know.
I would venture to say Teresa didn't really feel like talking about it, so they just let her do what she wants.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
From CBMC124, do you think Teresa's really friends with anybody on that show that's
No.
currently on the show? I don't think so, really.
Dolores, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they've
Yeah,
been together for a
Dolores,
while.
I could see, yeah.
And she won't give Dolores shit because she knows Dolores won't take any shit.
Oh, this is an interesting point out. From Airpick33, can Jen Aydin tell the same lie twice just for once, telling her family she hasn't had a chance to tell her side? She said that during the conversation in the beginning, that she hasn't had a chance to tell her side of the story.
I guess I don't even hear it anymore. It just kind of
a good
goes
point.
in one ear and out the other. But yeah, it's a solid point. And no, I don't think that she goes more than an episode without contradicting herself. We see it time and time again. I mean, the way that she even pushed her brother, it's like, that's not what happened. It's just say what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Frustrating.
We'll do one more here from Amy Bullock 8. If Jersey recasts, should Bravo bring in another family, i.e. Gorga/Judice or the Manzos, or no? We've talked about it before. Again, I think both of us are fully in the camp of you just kind of need to recast the entire show, unfortunately.
Are they saying that, or are they saying bring in a family, a new family, like a bigger, like where you had multiple parties?
You could. I just don't know who you would get. I mean, we've talked about, I think that if you're going to keep the cast the same, drop a couple of people that are basically just dead weight at this point. And honestly, you can pick whoever you want. I really wouldn't care. And bring back people that we know from early Jersey, if that works out, because it could ruffle some feathers and they at least know information about each other. New people aren't going to do it with this cast. They just don't care.
I feel like
They just get in line.
Their test pool for bringing back old castmates is OC.
Yeah.
I feel like they have different. RHONJ, they did a full reboot.
Mhm.
Miami, they paused. So I feel like they try different things with different cities.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that wouldn't work in Jersey. I honestly am in the full camp of reboot.
Yeah.
Reboot. See
I'm
what you
about
got.
50-50 on reboot, or at least just try to bring back other people, and hopefully they don't try to do too much, i.e. Tamra. But,
Yeah.
but you know what? That's all I got for questions.
Yeah. We will finish out this season. Oh, there's a bug in here.
Get out of here.
Still,
Honestly, you know what? It's really funny about that. You couldn't see that if you didn't watch on YouTube. What's really funny about that is I thought it was a little floaty in my eye.
No,
that's
that
why
was
I
a
was
bug.
like, oh, whatever. And then it got bigger and
is
bigger.
that because you're colorblind?
No,
You can't see bugs?
no.
Okay, just checking.
Nope.
Just asking.
Okay.
Why is
You're just trying to know, yeah.
Just-
Information
I
is
wanna
power.
learn.
Yeah, I want to learn.
But that's all we got here. You got anything else?
Nope.
Bros are out of here.
Bye.